करना है तो ठीक है। Good afternoon, all of you. My dear respected dignitaries, faculties, students, working professionals, and civil engineers. Myself, Professor Sanjeeva Narayan Singh, working as Research and Development Associate in Department of Civil Engineering at IIMT College of Engineering, Knowledge Park 3, Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh. I would like to introduce myself. I am a B.Tech in Civil Engineering from Govind Vallabh Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, Nainital. I did my postgraduate diploma in Advanced Construction Management from National Institute of Technology and Management, National Institute of Construction Management and Research, Pune in Maharashtra. Thereafter, I did my Master of Technology, M.Tech in Structural Engineering from Maharshi Dayanand University, Rohtak, Haryana. Although I have a vast experience in civil construction industry, the most important projects in which I have worked, I have played a major role in the construction of Indira Gandhi International Airport project, where I handled 80% of the concreting work for passenger terminal building. Thereafter, I worked for Mumbai International Airport project, also called Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport, Mumbai. There I handled the door package, overall scope of 3,500 doors. I got the design approved and got them manufactured from Hyderabad, delivered to the project site. Thereafter, I worked for Salalah International Airport project, Salalah in Oman. In Salalah, I handled the aircraft servicing pits and the chambers at the apron area of the airport. So other than that, I have worked on many other projects. I've worked on a 5-star hotel project named Today Hotels in Gurgaon. I have worked for Mahindra and Mahindra on their luxury apartment tower in Mumbai. So these are my projects and the organization in which I have worked. Since last 5 years, I have joined teaching. I taught B.Tech in Civil Engineering students at World College of Technology and Management, Farooq Nagar in Gurgaon. Today, I am teaching B.Tech Civil Engineering students at IIMT College, Greater Noida in Uttar Pradesh. Apart from that, I am a member of Institution of Civil Engineers, United Kingdom, UK. I have also won Quality Trophy for Excellence in Construction in the year 2010-11 at Mumbai International Airport project. I have written and published various research papers. I am also writing a book on modern construction materials. And apart from that, I have delivered a series of lectures in construction management. My earlier lectures in the series of construction management that have been delivered are construction project management, construction safety management, and construction quality management. All these lectures have been streamed live on YouTube platform, which can be accessed by my civil engineering students and professionals. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on construction equipment and machinery management. My lecture on construction equipment and machinery management will be in 3 parts. Today I am going to deliver the part 1 of my lecture. Part 2 will consist of all equipments and machinery used in earthwork. Part 3 will consist of all equipments and machineries used in concreting work, which is vital in any construction project. So now, as the slide is before you, and I have coined a quotation based on my vast experience in construction field, that a machine with a human heart would be the best engineering invention ever made. A quotation by myself, Professor Sanjeevan Narayan Singh. Now I would like to explain what made me coin this quotation. Basically, accidents happen at construction site because the machine is not aware. They don't have sensors. They don't have artificial intelligence. Now with the development in computer industry, computer science, the artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, and many other advancements in computer industry, if those are applied to machines with sensors and other software technology, basically it would be a machine with a human heart. Of course, a human heart senses something and becomes careful. So a machine with artificial intelligence will sense the surrounding and will become careful to avoid any accident. So moving to the next part, preventive maintenance is a key to extending equipment life, thereby saving time and money. Of course, prevention is better than cure. So why go for cure when you can prevent some untoward happenings? So machine's life can be increased if you do proper maintenance. This is not going to extend the equipment life, but it is also going to save time and money due to frequent breakdown of the machine. Now moving to the next slide, construction equipment and machinery management. Next slide, basically when construction equipment and when the management part of construction equipment comes into picture, the first thing that we do is planning, equipment planning. So equipment planning is a process whereby all the key equipment requirements are identified, analyzed, and proactively planned for accordingly. Selection of vendors, storage, allocation of required resources. So these are the components of planning and equipment and machinery for a construction project. So construction equipment planning aims at identifying construction equipment for executing project tasks, assessing equipment performance capability, forecasting date-wise requirement of number of equipments and type of equipments, and finally participating in the selection of equipment to be acquired. So while we plan for equipment and machinery on a construction project, we take care of the following issues in management. Next, we move to equipment selection criteria in planning. While we are planning an equipment for a construction project, how do we select an equipment? So an equipment is selected on the quantum of civil works to be handled by the equipment and its productivity requirement. So if you want to complete a task within a short time, you need to have an equipment, a heavy equipment with high speed and high RPM value, so that it is able to handle more quantity of work in a short time. So quantum of civil works to be handled by the equipment and its productivity requirement is one of the criteria which helps us to decide which equipment to select. Learning the performance by a live demo run of the equipment. Of course, if you see a live demo of the equipment, you will be able to judge in a much better manner whether it is suitable for your work or not. Next, construction activity frequency, type, and duration. So the activity which the machine is being handled, how frequent you will be doing that activity, what is the type of the activity, and how long that activity will happen on your project. So the frequency, the type, and the duration of the activity. Next are skilled, unskilled manpower availability. That depends how much skilled manpower, unskilled manpower are available in your construction project. Next comes the site conditions, so that determine the type of equipment that you need to select for your work. Of course, environment, health, and safety requirements is also one of the prime criteria for selection of the equipment. Otherwise, that may lead, otherwise, if unsuitable equipment is selected, that may lead to accident. So brand value of the equipment and machinery is also one of the criteria, which brand you want to select, which brand will be more useful for your work. Next, ownership, hiring, and renting cost. So you decide whether to own the equipment or to hire the equipment, or you take the equipment on rent. So if hiring and renting cost of the equipment is higher, you need to save money for your project. You need to make your project economical. So if ownership is cheaper than hiring and renting, of course, you need to purchase the equipment. If taking the equipment on hire or rent is cheaper, then you save money on the project. So that you have to decide after detailed analysis which is proving to be cheaper. Moving on to the next set of selection criteria, and that is operating and operator fuel consumption cost. Operator means the driver who is going to drive the equipment. The cost of the operator, the cost of the operating equipment. That may be fuel consumption and maybe other subsidiary costs also. Next comes the fleet similarity over existing equipment and machinery. If you have an equipment and machinery of a particular brand and a particular shape and a particular performance, then it is better to go for the same brand and same similar performance in the fleet, so that all the equipment that you have purchased earlier are compatible to each other while performing an activity on a project. Next comes the spare parts availability. Of course, if you purchase an equipment and machinery and the spare parts are not available, then the costly equipments that you have purchased, or even if you have taken on hire and rent, your work will come to a standstill if the equipment breaks down. So you need to ensure that the spare parts are available in the country or near the place where you are managing your construction project. Next comes the resale, salvage value, and cost of the equipment. Of course, resale and salvage value comes into picture when you purchase an equipment. If you purchase an equipment, a very costly equipment, and if it does not have a resale or salvage value, and if the equipment life If the equipment does not complete its life, then you will lose heavily on that. So there should be some salvage value and the cost even after the equipment has lived its complete life. Then comes the economic life of the equipment. As I told you that economic life of the equipment is the life by which the equipment has given you its service and given you productivity on your construction projects. Next comes the availability of power supply lines. So if power supply line is available on your construction project, it is better to go for fixed base machinery over mobile or tire mounted equipment. So mobile or tire mounted equipments consume diesel and petrol or even CNG maybe because electricity is not available. But there are some places where electricity is available. If you have power supply lines, it is better to go for a fixed base machinery rather than a tire mounted equipment. Now we move on to the next slide. And just I describe the activity on which we have construction equipments available. So the first activity is excavating equipment. So there are numerous excavation equipments available worldwide. So during my second lecture, I will be explaining in detail about the excavating equipment, the earth moving equipment, and rock breaking equipment. All these will be explained in detail in my second lecture, second part. Then comes the material mixing equipment. Of course, the production of concrete requires mixing of materials. So we need material mixing equipment. Then hauling. Hauling means lifting and moving. So short moving equipment, hauling, hoisting equipment. Then comes conveying equipment. You need to transport the material through a conveyor belt from one place to another. So they are conveying equipment. Then comes dredging equipment, is to clean the river of its silt, of its temporary sedimentation. So dredging equipment cleans the river and maintains the flow and discharge of the river. Then pumping equipment, you need to pump liquid from one place to another. Even you need to pump liquid at a particular height. Then comes the compacting equipment. Yes, compaction is one of the major activity on construction project where you need to stabilize the soil in the foundation or in the construction of roads, airport runways, and any such places where a vehicle moves. Then comes the drilling equipment. Of course, you need to drill in the rocks. Basically, in the tunneling, while in the tunneling process, we need to drill to stabilize the rocks. Or when we need to hang some cladding or something, we need to drill into the rock. So that drilling equipment is required. Then comes pile driving equipment. Of course, piling work into the ground while constructing the RCC concrete piles. You need to make vertical holes in the ground for which you need pile driving equipment. Next series of activities for which equipment is required are hot mix plant. Hot mix plant basically are used on construction of roads where you heat the asphalt and make asphalt concrete and mix stone aggregates, small sizes of stone aggregates to make asphalt concrete. And that is used for paving of the roads, for smoothing of the roads to make the top surface of the road. So hot mix plant is very important machinery. Transporting long distance equipment. So transporting long distance equipment, you can use railway bogies, you can use dumpers, trucks to transport construction materials from one place to another. Then comes material testing equipment. Of course, you need to test the material for their suitability in construction work. Then trenching equipment. You need to make trenches. So trenching equipment is also available. Then tunneling equipment is also one of the most important activity for which equipment is available. Then comes concrete production equipment. Of course, concrete production equipment today, uh, batching plant has been automatic. They automatically maintain the ratio of the ingredients and produce very good quality concrete. Now next, I just like to give you the difference between plant and machinery. So the difference between plant and machinery is that generally machinery will have moving and working parts, but plant will not have moving and working parts. Although computers and similar electronic devices are considered to be machinery, despite having no moving parts. The working parts of a machine are also considered to be machinery, and plant is an asset or machine which is fixed to the ground. So that is the difference between a plant and a machinery. Next we come, the choice of construction equipment for job site is a key factor to be considered for timely completion of the project within the stipulated budget. It is crucial that the construction equipment managers thoroughly understand the tasks that need to be completed, the machines that need to be used, the budget, and the time. So to make your construction work productive, if you want that your project need to be completed within budget and within time, you need to make a careful, a wise choice of construction equipment for your job site. Next comes the equipment management systems. So with the advancement of computer and software technology, the equipment management systems allows you to track and manage the tools and small equipment that help your construction project succeed. Managing equipment maintenance and expenses in a centralized software maximizes the efficiency and improves your return on investment. Of course, when you organize your machinery in a very beautiful manner through software, so your machinery will never remain idle. It will be productive. It will give the maximum productivity. It will never break down because the software will have the schedule for maintenance, repairing, and replacement of parts. Next comes, here I always take the high road. Actually, I paved it. Basically, this is the construction equipment and machinery that is used on road projects. So the dumper and the truck that is hauling through a hydraulic jack, that is dumping, that is not dumping, I can say, that is transferring the asphalt concrete to the paver. Paver is another equipment for paving the roads, for maintaining, for leveling of the roads and preparing the top surface. So they say that this equipment always take the high road because they paved it, they created that road, that beautiful and wonderful road, that smooth road. So that is why they run on that road. So here I give another quotation. I have designed another quotation for construction equipment and machinery, where I say that machine intelligence is the first invention that humanity will ever need to make construction projects run by robots. So now here I explain that in the ancient times, in the historical times, construction machinery and equipment was not available. So in earlier times, domesticated animals, people used to domesticate animals. So animals and carts were used for transportation of construction material. Strong ropes were used for lifting and shifting of equipment. And when no machine equipment and machinery was available, only unskilled worker, only human beings worked, toiled hard, worked day and night on construction projects to complete the projects. Of course, there were skilled workers. Of course, there were method of finishing the stonework. You can see the beautiful example of Taj Mahal and many other Hindu temples also where rock carvings are seen in very beautiful manner. So who worked them? So the skilled worker through small tools used to create beautiful architecture in the ancient times, in the olden days. But I'm talking about future. I'm talking about future of construction equipment and machinery. So tomorrow, if machine intelligence comes into play, we can utilize the services of robots to perform repeated tasks. So if a construction program is fed into the robot, that robot will perform a task repeatedly, by which we will be able to achieve activity completion. So now machine intelligence will be the first invention that humanity will ever need to make the construction projects run by robots. This I have coined the proverb. And of course, civil engineers of tomorrow will be able to use robots on construction sites more effectively than unskilled workers. Now here I display some of the construction equipments and machinery that are used on construction projects, how they look like in this photograph. So the first equipment is TLB, tractor, loader, and backhoe. So in my future lecture on earthwork, I will be explaining all these equipments, how they work, their productivity, and their utilization. So TLB is one of the equipment that is used in construction projects. Front end loader is another equipment that is used in construction projects to shift material from one place to another. Then comes excavator to excavate earthwork. Then comes dumping truck to transport construction material from one place to another. Then comes a scoop tram. Then comes the forklift. Next is a bobcat to shift material on a construction project from one place to another. Then mobile crane, a tire mounted crane we can say. It can be erected anywhere to lift heavy loads on construction sites. Then comes bulldozer. Next we have tower crane, very useful in construction of multi-story buildings. Then we have grader. Grader is mostly used in leveling of road soil. Then comes reach truck and the roller, as you all know, for paving of the road. Now next set of equipments that I describe are trench digging machine, breaker machine. Breaker machine is second equipment. Then the dumper truck used for transporting large amount of material from one place to another. Then pokeland machine or excavator used in earthwork. Then roller machine. This is a vibratory roller machine, which apart from rolling, they vibrate the surface for better compaction. Then mixer, transit mixture, we can also say, or truck mixer for ready mix concrete. So this is the special drum mounted truck which transports concrete from one place to another. So see, construction equipment and machinery have been very useful in modern world to speed up the construction activity and for early completion for reducing the completion time of big mega construction projects. From my experience, I share with you when I worked as a construction manager on Indira Gandhi International Airport, when I worked as a construction project manager as on Mumbai International Airport project and Salalah Airport project in Oman, I saw that these equipments and machinery were very much useful in completion of the large amount of activity within a short period. That resulted in early completion of these airport projects. From my experience, I share here with. And the last but not least, I can say, I will be continuing my lecture in the next series also. I coin a proverb that humanity is the best machine for tranquility. So everybody loves tranquility, a peaceful atmosphere. If you want a peaceful atmosphere, you need to have the machine in yourself, and that is called humanity. So humanity is the best machine for tranquility. And in the background is my photograph where I was on a site visit at Mumbai International Airport project. So with this, I complete my lecture for today, and I will be available with the second part of construction equipment and machinery management in due course of time. Thank you.